it's Allie. Welcome to another Thrifty Thursday, where I visit a local thrift store in search of tingly items to share with you. If you've never seen Thrifty Thursday, there are 3 basic rules that I have to follow. Rule number 1, I cannot spend over $5. Rule number 2, the item or items that I purchase have to be not only tingle-worthy, but also useful to me in my own life. And rule number 3, each time I visit the thrift store, I have to bring something of mine to donate. Something that I'm not using anymore, but might be of benefit to somebody else. So, as most of you probably know by now, I've been doing Thrifty Thursday a little bit different for the past several weeks. Because I've been in the middle of a gigantic move. It's turning out to be kind of gigantic. I'm just moving apartments, but it's taking kind of a long time. And so, in the spirit of moving and simplifying and downsizing, I decided to do Thrifty Thursdays a little bit differently. So instead of purchasing items each week to share with you guys, for the past several weeks I've just been showing you the items that I'm donating as I've been packing and downsizing and whatnot. So today's the same. It is probably going to be one of the last Thrifty Thursdays like this, though, because I have a definite move-in date next week. Finally, I'm so ready. And also when I move in, I'm gonna get to share with you guys the new space that I'll have for shooting in the new apartment, kind of like a little studio. I'm gonna try and give you a little tour of the place. So, I'm going to be donating 3 items that I came across this week. Well, let me correct myself. I'm going to be donating at least 2 items. And the 3rd item, I'm not actually sure at this point if I'm going to donate, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. It's kind of interesting, but I'll get to that later on. So I'm going to share with you a few items that I'll be donating, and also just doing a little bit of ear-to-ear whispering back and forth, ear to ear. So I hope you enjoy that. So, the first item that I'm going to share with you, I got this neat little box thing. Big surprise. I got it at a thrift store. It's just kind of a thing that I do. I got it at a thrift store a long time ago with the intention of making it into a terrarium, because I really like terrariums. If you don't know what a terrarium is, it's kind of just like an enclosed, sort of enclosed, sort of self-sustaining little plant habitat thing. I'm sure there's a better definition somewhere on the web, so don't use my definition if you're writing a paper on terrariums. What? Anyway, I've always wanted to make one. So I bought this with the intention of making my own little terrarium, because I really like this little box. That might even be what this is for, but I'm not sure. It might be for something else. But I thought this would make a cool little container for a small terrarium, but unfortunately I just never got around to doing it. I also was thinking that if I did do a terrarium, it would be really cool to do that on video for you guys. Me putting it together. And I'm still open to that idea. I still might do that in the future. If you guys like that idea, actually let me know in the comments, and I will go back to the thrift store and find another one of these because they're everywhere. But yeah, it's just something that never happened, and I really am trying to downsize with stuff in the new place and not come into it with a bunch of crap to unpack, you know. So I've decided to let this go because I don't know, I feel like I kind of lost any privileges I had to keep it when I let it sit and accumulate dust in my apartment for so many months. So this is going to go. But I do really like it, and I'd like to keep it, but it should be used, and maybe someone else will buy it and actually use it. I like the details of it. It's kind of lined in this little, the lining right here on the edges looks kind of like a twisted rope. Makes a neat little sound. When I scratch it, I'll let you hear. That's kind of cool. So, yeah. Oh, it also has this little embellishment thing on top. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It looks a little bit like a pineapple, but not maybe like a artichoke. Not sure. It's kind of egg-shaped, but has little ridges. I'm not sure. This little door opens via a small, there's a hinge right here and a little latch. You lift the latch and the door swings open on the hinge. The hinge is here, and then you can just lift the little latch up and down. Up, open, and close. Yeah, let me know if that is a video that would interest any of you, because I think I would like to do that. That'd be a cool video. Me making a terrarium. Let me know, and maybe I'll make it happen. But for now, I'm going to part with this really cool boxy thing and donate it to hopefully someone who will appreciate it and get some use out of it. Now the next thing that I'm going to show you is the interesting item that I mentioned earlier. I'm excited to share this with you because it's really funny. I planned on donating it. Oh, there's a bug in here. Oh my god. Be free, little bug. Do you see him? He's crawling along. Please go away. Please get off of my box. Bye bye. Okay, he's gone. Anyway. So, the next thing that I wanted to share with you, as I was trying to say, it's really interesting. As I was packing and everything, I came across this big cookbook that I had never really opened. It was just kind of among my other cookbooks, which I do use, but I wasn't using this one, so I thought, well, I'll donate it, and I'll use it for Thrifty Thursday. So I picked it out, and everything was great, and then, like minutes ago, just a few minutes ago, right before I started shooting this video, I was just flipping through it, just out of curiosity, and I found some things in here that made me second guess whether I want to donate it or not, whether I want to get rid of it, and I actually think I don't. I think I'm going to keep this, because I'm trying to show it to you first. First of all, it's called The Complete Cookbook of World Cookery. It says 222 illustrations, 48 in full color, 672 pages, 2,316 recipes from all over the world. This book was published in 1972, so it's pretty old for a cookbook. And it has all these great photos on the inside. And it's got recipes from everywhere, all parts of the world. It's a really big book. I'll just flip to a random page. So, here's a great picture. It's all these really lovely looking pastries, which I think are from this is from British Isles. These are recipes from the British Isles. So, let's see. There's, I like this one. This one's called, I want to read it to you real quick. It's called Cumberland Clipping Time Pudding. It's made from rice, milk, sugar, the marrow from beef marrow bones, eggs, currants, and stoned raisins. That doesn't sound particularly appetizing to me, but I liked the name of it. Cumberland Clipping Time Pudding. This one's called the Wiltshire Lardy Cake. This cover wants to come off. Anyway, so this one's called a Hedgehog Tipsy Cake. It's made with wine or sherry or brandy. So I was flipping through here, looking at the recipes and looking at some of the pictures. And I came across, let's see if I can find it again. I left it in. Sort of shoved in between a few of the pages, I found something kind of cool. Now, I did not know where this book came from. I didn't know how it came to be in my possession. It just was in my stuff. I didn't know where I got it. Hang on, I gotta find it again. Here we go. And I flipped to this page. And I found these. I'm gonna put the book down for a second so I can show you. I found these note cards with a recipe written down on them. And this is the very recognizable handwriting of my mother, my biological mother. And as some of you might know, my mother, I lost my mother at a young age. I was 9 when she died. I mentioned this in a previous video. But her handwriting is very distinct. It's this kind of slanty, curly writing. And I found these note cards with these recipes written on them, and I realized that this book must have belonged to her. And she was, I guess, taking notes of a recipe she wanted to try. I'm not sure which one this was. I don't think it's on this page, but it's a soup of some kind. And yeah. So I have a lot of things of hers, just because she tended to write notes and journals and letters and things, so I have a lot of stuff of hers, but it's still really fun for me and exciting when I come across something that I wasn't expecting. And I was just flipping through this book and I was going to give it away. And then I found this, so I'm thinking that I will hang on to this book just for sentimental reasons, and maybe I'll use it. Typically, I get most of my recipes from the internet, Pinterest, or whatever, but maybe I'll try the cookbook. So this was really cool, and then I found something else in the book. I wanted to see if maybe there were more in the book, so I started flipping through it a little bit more, and I did find something else of hers. Yeah, it says recipes from Greece and everywhere. Here we go. Now this is under recipes from Hungary. And I found this. And it's not anything really, it's just one little sentence of hers. It's not even a sentence. She wrote down Dobos Tort, which is a recipe that's on this page. It's called a Dobos Tort, a mini layered cake that I guess she wanted to make. But what's cool about this, what's unique about it, is this little note was ripped out of what looks like a little day planner, because it's got a calendar, a small calendar on the back. And the calendar is from 1980. And the day was Tuesday, September 2nd, 1980. Now, I don't necessarily know for sure that she wrote this little note to herself in 1980, but probably wasn't. I mean, it could have been just an old notebook that she had lying around, from an old one from 1980. She ripped a page out of, but probably wasn't that much later than 1980. But anyway, that's really cool because in 1980 she had to have been about 20, maybe 21, long before I was born, long before she even met my dad. So this is really kind of crazy. There's nothing special about it, it's just the name of a recipe, but it's from a really long time ago, before she was even my mother. I like that. And I like that I mean, I knew this about her because I knew her, obviously, but I like these little pieces of evidence that she liked to cook, because I love to cook. And I think I will read to you a little bit of this recipe, ear to ear, in honor of my mother who wanted to make it. Okay, so here are the instructions. Halfway upside of 1 cake layer all the way around, insert toothpicks. Using these as a guide, with long sharp knife, carefully split the layer. Split remaining 3 layers to make 8 thin layers in all. The Topos tort may have 7 or 8 layers as desired. Beat butter until fluffy. Add icing sugar gradually. Then egg yolks one at a time, beating until very fluffy. Melt the chocolate over hot, not boiling water, and cool well before blending into butter mixture. Place round the edges of the cake plate 4 strips of waxed paper, slightly overlapping. Set 1 cake layer on top. Cover generously with butter mixture. Place another layer on top and repeat until all but 1 layer has been used. For caramel, in small saucepan, combine granulated sugar, water, and cream of tartar. Bring the mixture to the boil, stirring, then cook uncovered just until golden, no longer. Stir syrup until bubbles are gone, then pour over top of last layer. Working quickly, spread caramel, then, before it hardens, using a well-buttered silver knife, mark top into 12 wedges deep enough, going over several times, to make cutting easier later. Place this layer on top of others, and ice side of cake. Refrigerate the tort until serving the next day or several days later. To serve, remove waxed paper from under the cake. Cake plate is still clean. And with sharp knife, saw through the markings. If wedges are too firm, let stand at room temperature. So there you have it. That is how you make a Topos tort. That sounds really delicious, actually. I might have to try and make it. It sounds pretty involved, so I wouldn't need to do it when I have a lot of time. It sounds really good. Down below that recipe, it gave the the instructions for making the sponge cake layers that it calls for. So, I was gonna give this away, but now I'm thinking I'll hang on to it. Maybe make some of the stuff that my mom marked. Because I don't know if she ever got around to making those recipes. But looks like she wanted to. Yeah, so this book actually is not going to go to the thrift store, so it doesn't really count for Thrifty Thursday, but thought I'd share it with you anyway, because that was kind of cool. Now, the last item I'm going to share with you is this. This is a pretty little pair of earrings that I've never worn. I know what you're thinking. If you watched last week's Thrifty Thursday, you're thinking, why do you have all this jewelry that you've never worn? And I don't really. This is kind of it. This and the necklace, for the most part. But this I got, I don't know, a few months ago, maybe a year. This came in some kind of little, like, goodie bag from some sort of festival. I can't even remember exactly. It was just sort of a freebie. It was like a bag of samples from different vendors, I guess, to display their products, and I didn't buy them or anything. They were just in the bag, and they're really beautiful, but I don't really care for them myself. And they weren't a gift, and I didn't pay for them or anything, but so I don't really feel bad about giving them away. But yeah, they're pretty fancy, and I'm not that fancy. I'm sure I could find an occasion eventually to wear these too, but I'd rather just donate them and make somebody else happy. I don't know the dollar value of these, and even if their value is higher, I probably wouldn't try and sell them, because I don't know, I just prefer the idea of donating, honestly. But they're really pretty. They have this kind of black gem thing right here at the top, and then a little gold tassel that sort of cascades down from it, which I like. But yeah, I never wore them, and I probably never will. They're pretty, but they're not really for me. I don't wear a lot of earrings, actually. I'm not a big earring person. I don't know why. Here, they make a nice sound. So, yeah. They're kind of fun to play with. But, yeah. Not for me, so I'm just gonna let them go. Maybe someone will find them and really, really like them. It'd be nice for the holidays, I think. Shiny. Well, guys, those are all the items. Well, the 2 items that I'll actually be donating. The book I've decided I'm going to keep. I hope that you have enjoyed this week's Thrifty Thursday. I hope that you found it interesting and relaxing. And I'll be seeing you guys as you might have noticed, I kind of look like an extra in the movie Heathers right now. And that is your fault. Because on last week's Time Travel Tuesday, I asked you guys to tell me your favorite nostalgic fashion trend.